Hey guys, I'm Lex and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would do another story time. So this is just going to be a video of some short stories from my holidays which I find embarrassing. So let's go. The first one comes from a holiday in Italy. I was about 11 or 12 years old and I was on a school trip to Italy. And it was a skiing, snowboarding type trip. So every day we would go on the chairlift and pass the men who operated the chairlift. And every day I would shout to them, "Ciao Bella." And I thought I was saying hello or good morning. And they would always laugh, but I just thought that they weren't laughing at me. They were just, I don't know why they were laughing. So I was like, every day, "Ciao Bella. Ciao Bella." And then it wasn't until I got back, like after I'd said it for a week, that I realised I was saying "hello beautiful" to them. So that was, I mean, for me, I was pretty embarrassed. I just spent a week saying "hello beautiful," 12-year-old me saying "hi beautiful, goodbye beautiful" to these men who operated the chairlift, and they were laughing, and now I know why. The next story comes from France. Now every year for about 10 years of our childhood, so maybe I was about 12 or 10 again, something like that, we used to go camping in France. And me and my sister got a bit bored and a bit delirious with the heat in the tent, because you know how tents get super hot in the summer. Anyway, I think we went a bit crazy because we used to get the pillows. We used to like pick up the pillow. Pass me your pillow, Ash.
I'm going to demonstrate.
Ash is going to demonstrate. We used to put the pillow over our head and like dance around the room. This is not the embarrassing bit of the story. So demonstrate, Ash. So that's what we used to do, and we used to call it the pillow heads. Alright, get away, pillow head. So we used to do that in our tent when we was only little kids. Anyway, and it was like so funny, it was the best game ever, and we used to jump around going, "We're the pillow heads." And that's not the worst bit, because if I don't know if you've been in a tent, but if you have, you will know that the fabric is not like opaque. If you shine a light through a tent, your shadow comes on the side of the tent and everyone can see what you're doing in the tent. And in France it was summer, so there was bright sun outside, so basically everything in the tent was illuminated and there were shadows across the tent, so we thought no one could see or hear us. But actually, when we came outside of the tent, there was a crowd. There's like a mini crowd of people gathered around the tent. And we was like, "Bonjour everyone, au revoir." Basically there had been a gathering of people standing to look and laugh at the shadows casting on our tent, because the two girls inside were totally unaware that we were performing a pillowhead show to the campsite. And our parents didn't think to tell us either, they just joined in and laughed. So the next story is very recent. If you don't know, I literally just got back from Canada because I was studying abroad there. By the way, check out my Canada vlogs and my Dear Diary series if you want to see more about that, because I filmed it. But back to the story. We were in Vancouver for the Christmas break. We being me and my sister again. So we ordered the Chinese and they told us, they rang me up and they said, like, we're at the end of the street or something, didn't they?
In a white van.
Yeah, they said, we're at the end of the street in a white van. So I was like, oh, quick, we've got to go find the Chinese person who's got the Chinese. And then being so stupidly stereotypical, and I feel so bad about it. I went up to a white van and there was a Chinese, well, an Asian, East Asian looking man next to a white van. And I feel so bad. I did not mean it in this way. Like, I wasn't being offensive or anything. But I just went up to this guy and I was like, are you the Chinese takeaway guy? He was like, no. I was like, oh. Oh no, I didn't mean it in an offensive way. So basically, I'd ordered a Chinese and I knew it was outside, but I didn't know where. So I went straight to this Chinese looking person, but I didn't go to them because they looked Chinese. I went to them because they was near a white van. But now, because he's from an Asian background, he thinks that I went to him because he looks like he could be Chinese. Because obviously I don't have a clue about East Asian cultures or whatever. And now I've straight up said to him, have you got my Chinese food? How embarrassing is that? You know what I'm saying? I'm cringing just thinking about it. And after all that, the actual Chinese takeaway guy was at the other end of the street in the totally wrong place anyway. And he was not Asian origin looking. He was just, I know, Caucasian. I can't even remember, but yeah, so that was a bit embarrassing to be honest. Okay, the next one comes from a place called Center Parcs, which is like a holiday complex in the UK. I was there a young teenager, and basically they have a big pool and they have like one of the lazy river rapid type things running through it. Anyway, one time I went down there like head first, sliding on my stomach like all the way down, zipping around the corners, and then I crashed into somebody. That's not the worst bit because you always crash into people, it's like body parts everywhere. And then I'm like, oh sorry, and then the worst thing that could possibly ever happened. The person turned around and it was my geography teacher. I was like, oh my goodness, I am literally lying on top of my geography teacher in nothing more than a bikini. What is happening? And my geography teacher is wearing the same. And I was like, oh sorry. And she was like, it's alright. It was just like get out of there quick. So yeah, that was embarrassing. And the last story is from France again. Every time we're in France, we always go to the beach, like most people when they go on holiday. And me and my sister used to just like spending all of our time in the sea, on the bodyboards, on the skin boards, although Ash fell over one time and got winded and that was hilarious. But this time we was on the bodyboard, so we went out really far and then we came across some rocks. The bottom of the bodyboard was like scraping on the rocks and I was quite scared really. I was like, I don't like the rocks because I was little and I had a fear of like dark objects in the sea, and rocks appear dark when you're like on the surface. So anyway, next thing you know, we got stranded on the rock because our bodyboards was like jammed in them. So we were like in the middle of the sea, like stuck on a rock, and we were like, Mom! Mom! For like ages. After about 10 minutes of waving, Mum finally looked up, and Dad, and she's like, oh look at the kids having fun. And then she's just waving back at us. She's like, hello girls. And we're like, Mom, we're stranded on a rock. How do we get off? Mom, don't just wave at us. Rescue us. Because we was little. Anyway, she was like, hello. And then she went back to her reading. Then I'm like... So we're like, that's it, Ash. We're stranded on this rock. We can have to stay here till the tide comes in and then just float back. And that could be so long. We don't know how long we're going to be stranded here. Okay, let's try and get away. So we pushed the bodyboard a bit ahead. It was like, after 3, we'll jump on the bodyboard and hopefully slide our way back to the shore. But it didn't go very well. Basically, we jumped, hit the bodyboard, but the bodyboard went forward and we sort of smashed into the rock, cut our knees open, and then, well, we got off it, but it was painful. And then we walked up to Mum like, Mum, we were just pretty much stranded in the middle of the sea, and all you did was wave. And ever since that day, for about, I don't know, 10 years, 5 years, a lot of years, I have had a fear of going near rocks in the sea. That was a genuine fear, starting from that embarrassing moment of being stranded and then jumping off a rock and then missing the bodyboard and then smashing my knee and then... But I'm no longer scared of rocks in the sea. I actually go to the rocks because I like snorkeling, so anyway, now I'm going on a bit. So those are 5 of my embarrassing holiday stories. I'm currently in Greece and I'm hoping that I don't get another embarrassing story to add to the list. I'm vlogging my holiday trip, so if you like vlogs and you're new here, subscribe. So in the next couple of weeks, the Greece vlog from this holiday will be uploaded, so stay tuned for that. Let me know if you have any embarrassing holiday stories. Give it a thumbs up, because that'll be very helpful. If you want me to do any more story times, because my most popular video apparently is my paranormal story time, then let me know what I should tell a story about, because I have many stories to tell and I just don't know which ones to tell you first. So let me know if there's any particular thing you want to hear stories about, because I've got some. And yeah, that's all I have to say. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time. Bye!